It would be wonderful if life never tempted us, if we could go from one day to the next improvising and always doing the right thing. But the world isn't like that. In the end, we often make mistakes or take actions that we later regret. Stoicism, in theory, is a philosophy. In practice, it's a set of rules for living. Stoics believe that life is complicated and full of situations that will test us, so they created rules to help us stay on the right path. In this video, I'm going to talk about 17 Stoic rules that I've set for myself in order to become the best version of myself. These 17 rules were created by Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago and have been helpful to many people throughout history. I invite you to stay until the end to learn all the rules and apply them to your life. Before we start, I would appreciate it if you liked the video to help me continue spreading this philosophy. If you're not already subscribed, I recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Rule 1: Conquer your mornings. One of the highlights of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is the discussion he has with himself at the beginning of Book 5. He knows he needs to get out of bed, but he desperately wants to stay under the warm covers. It's easy to relate to, but it's also impressive. Marcus Aurelius didn't need to get out of bed. He wasn't really obligated to do anything. Many emperors before him delegated the tasks of government to focus solely on living in luxury. However, Marcus Aurelius forced himself not to succumb to these temptations and to take care of his tasks early in the morning, because Marcus Aurelius knew that winning the morning was the key to winning the day and winning in life. He may not have heard the expression, "the early bird catches the worm," but he was well aware that a well-begun day was a productive day. Personally, I take 3 actions to have a productive morning. I write in a journal as soon as I wake up, noting the things I need to do during the day and writing a short reflection on the previous day where I record both the things I did well and the things I did poorly to become aware of what I need to improve. Keeping a journal allows me to create a morning habit and reflect on my life. It reminds me of what I need to do and how I need to act. Exercise, it's not necessary to exercise intensely. By exercising, I mean moving, going for a walk, going to the gym, running, whatever you prefer. As long as it gets you physically active, it wakes you up and gets your mind ready. Third action, focus on work. Once I've done the 2 previous actions, I'm ready to focus on the task at hand. Rule 2, focus on what is under your control. Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on the things we can control and forgetting about the things we cannot. Understanding this makes you more practical and helps you avoid wasting time worrying about things that don't deserve it. Once you understand this, you'll avoid a lot of frustration and suffering and know what's worth focusing on to achieve your goals. A clear example is in sports. You control how you play, but you don't control whether you win, whether your opponent is respectful, or whether the audience applauds you. When you realize this and start focusing on your game rather than the others, you'll likely perform better. Apply the same principle to all situations in your life. Rule 3, don't suffer from imaginary problems. In uncertain situations in life, we generate thoughts that make us suffer. This is completely normal, but if we think carefully, most of the negative situations we imagine might happen never actually do. In the words of Seneca, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Try to focus on the present and stay calm. It's likely that the bad things you imagine happening to you won't actually happen in the end. Rule 4, treat success and failure the same way. Marcus Aurelius used an interesting metaphor. He said that all men are like a rock. He would throw the rock up and say that it gains nothing going up and loses nothing coming down. It remains the same rock. If the day starts with a promotion or ends with a dismissal, you are still the same person. In fact, negative situations in life often teach us many things, so they are even more valuable than positive situations. Be grateful for everything that happens to you, whether it's good or bad, because no matter what happens, you are still the same and can learn from any situation. Rule 5. Do only one thing per day. This rule doesn't need to be taken literally. By saying do only one thing per day, I mean 2 situations. The first is for people who live without goals. It's important to focus on one goal to achieve each day. No matter how small it is, living without goals turns a potentially extraordinary life into a mediocre one. The second situation is for people with many goals. Having ambitions is good, but focus on taking one step at a time, because focusing on many things at once can make you lose sight of what really matters. With this rule, I invite you to try to reach at least one goal you set for yourself every day, no matter if it's something simple or very complex. Strive to achieve it. Rule 6. Don't seek the easy way. Whenever you want to achieve something, remember that there is no easy path to reach it. In life, things worth having are achieved through effort. Think of anyone you consider successful and read their biography. You will see that everything they achieved was obtained through hard work and discipline. In fact, that's the key to becoming successful. Hard paths build your character, make you learn from your mistakes, and encourage you to persevere. The difference between those who achieve great goals and those who don't is the tolerance for effort and sacrifice. Anyone can choose the easy path, which is why few consistently achieve what they set out to do. Rule 7. Ask yourself if it's necessary. Take a moment to reflect on the things you do in life and ask yourself, is what I'm doing necessary? You'll realize how many things we do and desire in our lives that are completely dispensable. How much time we waste on things that truly bring us nothing. How do you know if what you're doing is necessary? Ask yourself why you do the things you do. Find a valuable reason, something worthwhile. If you can't find a valuable reason, what you're doing is unnecessary in your life. Rule 8. Love your fate. Things don't always happen as we want them to. That's a fact of life. As Seneca said, fortune acts as it wishes. His own life was proof of this. Health problems interrupted his political career, and the emperor exiled him. He managed to return only for the same thing to happen again. Nearly everything was beyond Seneca's control. The only part that was under his control was how he chose to view these events and what he chose to do with them. He chose to see them as something good and chose to use them. Life will put you through good and bad situations. It's up to you how to deal with them, whether you seek the positive side of things that happen or whether you will live in constant regret. Rule 9. Have conversations with death. The founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium, visited the oracle after losing all his wealth in search of inspiration for what to do next. The oracle told him that to live a good life, he should have conversations with the dead. The oracle was referring to reading and invited Zeno to read the books of philosophers who lived before him. Reading is an incredible tool. It gives you the ability to read the thoughts and opinions of people who lived thousands of years ago. We live in a world where every day we seek the newest things, which makes us forget about the ancient knowledge written in books. We have the power to converse with the greatest minds of the past, who with their experience can guide and help us in our lives. The worst part is that millions of people in the world choose to reject this superpower. Take advantage of it. It has never been so easy to access so much ancient knowledge as it is now thanks to the internet. Rule 10. Be strict with yourself and compassionate with others. It's important to remember that Stoics have strict rules and strong opinions about what is right and wrong. But, and this is important, we must be understanding and forgiving of those who have strayed from the truth. As Marcus Aurelius writes, to be dragged along by the mind twisting and turning is the mark of a petty soul. To be unable to admit what is right and to be unable to stick to it is the mark of a man without nerve. This doesn't mean we should allow people to act unjustly or maliciously, but we don't need to judge everyone who doesn't behave exactly as we want them to. In such cases, the best we can do is set an example. If you want to show someone that they're behaving wrongly, strive to act rightly yourself and show them. That's the best way to influence someone and change their mindset. It may take some time, but sooner or later they will start to emulate you. Rule 11. Remember that you die every day. In the words of Seneca, this is our great mistake. Thinking that we look at death ahead when in fact most of death has already passed. All the time that has passed belongs to death. It's easy to see death as something distant, as an event that happens to us at some point in life. But the reality is that death is with us now, happening with every passing moment. What are we going to do about it? The answer is to live live while we can. Don't procrastinate anything, don't leave anything unfinished, and make the most of your time while it's still yours. Rule 12. Cultivate gratitude daily. Every day, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Gratitude helps us maintain a positive and appreciative perspective on life, even in difficult times. Be thankful for the small things and the great blessings you have in your life. Rule 13. Practice empathy actively. Make a conscious effort to put yourself in others' shoes and understand their perspectives and feelings. Empathy strengthens relationships, promotes mutual understanding, and helps build a more compassionate world. Rule 14, abandon perfectionism. Accept that the pursuit of perfection is often unrealistic and can lead to procrastination and stress. Instead, aim for progress and continuous personal growth. Remember that it's normal to make mistakes and they are opportunities for learning. Rule 15, take care of your body and mind. Set aside time for physical exercise, meditation, or other practices that promote mental and physical well-being. Prioritizing your health helps strengthen your resilience in the face of life's challenges. Rule 16, practice detachment from material things. Value experiences and relationships over accumulating material possessions. Detachment frees us from the constant pursuit of owning things and allows us to focus on what truly matters. Rule 17, be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning and growing. Continually seek new knowledge, skills, and perspectives. An open and curious mind enriches your life and expands your understanding of the world. What do you think of these Stoic rules? Would you add any others? I look forward to hearing your opinion in the comments. Personally, I try to apply these rules in my life, although it's not easy, and I often forget them. I try to jot them down somewhere and remind myself of them. Stoicism is not an easy path, just like life. It requires a lot of effort and discipline, but it's worth it. Until next time,